start today. So, tonight's going to be, a little bit shorter than most. Right now, let's see. We finished the clouds. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so we finished the clouds. We're probably going to start on the buildings now. So, let's see. Cool. Yeah, draw building, skyline, steel girders, a dodge, and enemy girders. Okay. So, probably do most of the work in here. Raindrop, and then over here. Okay, so once filled up, probably get rid of those two. I don't think we're using these anymore. So we'll first start on that. Wondering if there's a quicker way to. Oh, there we go. Quick way to get rid of some of this. It seems like it's quick enough though. Alright, erase this. Take care of this one. See if Kenji wants to join in. There we go.
Hey, hold on a second.
All right.
I don't know, for whatever, I was trying to like do it on my actually, hold on, let me call you back.
Okay.
See if you can answer.
All right. Okay. Just drawing over here. Okay. Hello? Alright, what just happened over here? Hang on one sec. Alright, okay, I don't think I was using that thing. Hello? Alright, let's see. Yeah, okay, so now we're good to draw some type of skyline in the background. Ah, hey, I heard something. Hey.
I hate technology so much. Oh my god, I'm just using my laptop. I did not on the iPad it just kept crashing on me for some reason. Why do I see multiple instances of you?
Because I don't have a webcam on my desktop, so I'm using my laptop's webcam, and that's why it's a Google Hangouts.
I see, and I look like I'm in a snuff film. Why is the quality so crappy?
I don't know, that might be all you? Yeah, that's all you.
Man, this is obnoxious. Let's see if I can join on my iPad without crashing. Yeah, why is this all fuzzy?
I don't know which fuzziness are you talking about, like your camera, my camera, the live stream?
Oh, no, my camera.
Ah.
No, I'm just looking mad fuzzy right now. See if I join this call, will I crash? Yeah, I crashed. Are you using Hangouts or Meet?
I think I'm using Hangouts.
I know they're switching over to Meets, but
Yeah.
and apparently I'm still there. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, the problem is I shrink the window, and then you can't, you know.
Mm.
Oh, there we go. And now you switched. And now back to you. But you got all these like, can we hide all these participants?
God damn it. Whatever. No. Apparently I dropped off now. It took two attempts to connect for me to fail.
Mm-hmm.
It works in most instances. So you're using your phone right now?
No, I'm using my laptop because it has a webcam to get the video of me, and then the audio is coming out of my desktop. So I think if I had a webcam for my desktop, all the problems would go away. I think.
I mean, I wish I had a webcam for my desktop too. Is it like possible to buy one?
Yeah, it's impossible to buy one right now.
It's still impossible. It's still impossible to buy one.
Yeah. They're like, if they're on the market, they're like super expensive right now. I don't think I can like not view these things.
So wait, so you're recording this right now?
Yeah, it's a Twitch recording. I could see if I could like get rid of it if it's not like a good recording.
I mean, I don't care. It's just like I'm sure solving tech issues isn't the most, exciting TV, but it doesn't really matter.
There we go.
Bandwidth, easy camera. I'm using an old laptop. I have like, it's so, because I don't like eat. I have like a dining room table, but I don't like eat there,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of using it as like my like fake Wii workstation. I don't really understand why I can't connect with because I don't have problems with it usually. Why I can't connect with my iPad? I don't know what the dang issue is. Is it because you're recording? I don't. All right, so here's another thing too, because I'm being
I
real
think
stubborn because what?
No, I was gonna say I think it's because it's just different accounts,
No, it shouldn't be. No, it should be the same account. I'm using my usual Gmail. That I'm not gonna say out loud because you're recording, but like.
Oh, what about that link? Did you click that link I sent?
I clicked on the link and then it just like immediately crashes.
Oh, that's weird.
Like that's why I'm like there, like I'm connected, but like I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I actually on like my end, I don't even see that you're on a video, which is weird.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so for me recording, it shouldn't have nothing to do with it because I'm just recording whatever's on the screen, or like live stream. I'm actually not recording locally. I'm live streaming it, and then Twitch is recording it.
No, but it's just on my tab. It says recording.
Hi, we got a viewer.
Do we?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's I told that kid.
It's Lynn81.
No. Hi, Mrs. Masri. Long time no see. How you doing? That's great. Oh, you're gardening? Okay, cool. I mean, a lot of people have been doing that since the pandemic.
I'll let you know what she says.
So I overpaid on a beer because I just got caught up. Bring it back to the old Vodcast days. So like, I got a special edition Stella Artois. And guess what it tastes like?
Regular edition Stella Artois.
You know how like Stella is barely a beer.
Uh-huh.
Like it's not. I mean, it's fine, but it just doesn't. It's not like. It's kind of like like Corona is barely a beer. Like it doesn't like alone. It doesn't really have much of a flavor, right? It just, for lack of a better way of putting it, tastes like a beer.
Yeah. It tastes like a beer. Well, Corona has this like, not tang, but it has this like. Oh, okay. Yes, she is gardening actually. So, she said we're coming in loud and clear, and so she's fine with the live stream, and she's gonna have her first tomato out of the garden tomorrow.
All right, tomatoes are probably like one of the best things to like garden too, because supermarket tomatoes are trash.
They're also super expensive.
Yeah, no, like an heirloom tomato, the
Yeah.
ones that tomatoes are like the weird ones at the supermarket. It's like the ugliest tomato is actually the best quality tomato.
Hmm.
You know, like with a lot of things, you're looking for like the vegetable or like the fruit that looks the nicest,
Yeah.
like the one you want to take a picture of. But like tomatoes, no, you want the ugly one.
Hmm.
The ugly one is the winner, right?
Yeah.
The one that's all like veiny looking
Hmm.
and looks like a mutant tomato. It's
Yeah.
not like one cut. It's not. It's like blotchy and it's not like one color. It's a
Yeah.
little yellow over here. You know, like that's the
Uh-huh.
tomato you want.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with it.
And you can't buy that tomato.
Hmm.
They have like this pristine like what I don't know. It's I guess it's red, but like it's not exactly red. It's like a tomato red is like a different kind of red. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not a bright red. It's not like
It's
not
almost like it's almost like a really bright orange.
yeah, it's not like a cherry tomato. Well, I don't know.
Cherry tomato is pretty red, but no,
Yeah.
but just like a
Yeah, just a regular tomato. Yeah, you're right. It's
yeah.
not
I
like
don't know what you call like a regular tomato. I just want to call it like a red delicious tomato because like they taste about as good as a red delicious apple in the apple family of things. You know.
I thought red delicious weren't that good.
That's what I'm saying. Regular red tomato is like the red delicious apple of tomatoes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Or that ugly, like veiny looking one is like the Fuji or something, or like the pink lady, or
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what other kind of apples there are. Isn't there like a Washington or something?
Yeah, Washington, Honey Crisp, Granny Smith.
Seattle's best. Tim Hortons tomatoes. Dunkin' tomatoes. They're okay in a pinch. Pete's tomatoes.
Are you just looking up tomato names right now?
No, no.
Oh, you're naming different types of tomatoes that they could have.
Sure. What else? What else is your mom growing? I did very like I know we talked about this before, but I'm guessing your mom hasn't heard this. Oh, on a side note, I have a guest star apparently. My Swiffer's over here. That's yeah, I have a I don't know why it's over there, but I'm too lazy to move it at the moment because I overpaid for like a beer that just tastes like a beer, but
It happens. It happens to the best of us.
oh yeah, on a side note, I know there's like an explicit tag, but is there like you know how, like in Disney Plus and stuff, or like in cartoon, it's like old cartoons, they'll like up the rating, you know, be like there's tobacco use
Yeah.
and alcohol use and stuff, because apparently kids, I mean kids from the '80s like us, they could handle that, but like this new gen of kids can't.
Yeah, I can see that. All right. She says she's growing Jersey. Jersey fresh tomatoes are the tastiest, but she couldn't find any. But she couldn't find any Jersey fresh tomato plants. She says Jersey fresh tomatoes are the tastiest, but she couldn't find any Jersey fresh tomato plants. I think she buys tomato plants and then plants them in the ground. Like she doesn't start out from seeds.
I got you.
Yeah.
So my question to her then is the Jersey fresh tomato the tastiest tomato because you objectively think it's the tastiest tomato, or is it because it's like local? And because it's local, it inherently tastes better because it's local.
Is it the best tomato? Okay. So is it a question?
Yeah, food for thought, no pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. Is it a question? Is it like a no holds barred question, or is that like
It's not a no hold. I mean, it's not even a no hold bar question. I just
No,
like,
no. I mean, and what I'm saying
yeah,
is like, is it an actual question or
yeah. No, it's a legit question.
is it a no, no?
No,
What I'm saying is it a legit question or is that just a statement where you're saying like Jersey fresh tomatoes are normally good, but um,
I mean, I've had I never
but you
even
think
thought
that
of it
they're
as Jersey.
better. But you think that people from Jersey are going to say that they're better because they're from Jersey, like they're local. Is
So
that
now you added like a team. Okay, now you added like a team loyalty thing, which that wasn't the question I was asking. But I guess that's a third question.
no? Like
Is
what
it
kind of
because
question?
yeah, like no, my first question was mainly like so like if there was like if we lived in another state and there was like an indigenous tomato to that state,
Mhm.
it's probably easy to say that it's probably going to be the best tomato in the area because it is indigenous to the state kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
As opposed to importing a tomato from another state that could be good if you got it just fresh off the ground. But we don't know this because we've only had it shipped.
All right. Well, she's saying it's very tasty. She's responding to your question, and she's saying it's very
Okay,
tasty.
it's very tasty. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
to be
Yes.
fair though, because
No.
I don't, for instance, like I don't know what a San Manzano tomato actually tastes like because I feel like I've only had it out of a can
Yeah. Yeah. Because yeah.
and on a pizza, right?
Mhm.
Or like a tomato sauce, but like it's pretty good in that form.
Yeah. She's saying
But I
Jersey.
never actually, yeah, okay.
She's saying Jersey fresh tomatoes are sweet. They're very tasty, and they're sweet. Like they have a sweetness to them.
So
Or
they're
maybe like
closer
other.
to like they're closer to like the ideal of like the tomato being a fruit and not a vegetable.
Yeah, like other tomatoes, they might be acidic or like sour, tart.
Hmm.
Um, I
So
want
she would just like eat it. Like she could just eat it as an apple and be pretty satisfied with it.
if you ate an apple with a fork, I
I
haven't
used to eat
seen.
I used to eat tomatoes like an apple.
Yeah, you just
I like
wash it
I,
and
yeah, I like
chomp.
and put a little salt. I like tomatoes. I've always liked tomatoes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
consider yeah, I'm very pro tomato.
She's saying yes, she would eat it like a fruit, like you would just chomp it like an apple.
Okay, then. All right, cool.
Okay. Yeah.
I
I
wasn't, I obviously wasn't questioning her motives or anything. It was just more of like man, you're coming in mad clear, and I am not.
I don't know. Everything looks good from my
Eh,
end.
I guess from the thumbnail, if you
Yeah.
like went and like actually like
Oh, like clicked on you?
lit out, yeah, no, I guess it's probably just the lighting too.
Yeah, I can't click on anything right now. No, everything looks good from my end. It's just this
Yeah,
black.
no,
Like if I could.
I mean, I'm sure because my webcam should be like I should be a solid 720p.
Yeah. I'm gonna look into OBS and try to do this stream a little bit better. Because theoretically,
You're an OBS.
yeah, theoretically, you're supposed to be able to like cut out the people and then like superimpose them on the video or something like that. So I'm gonna have to play around with it at some point when I get a chance. I just wanted something to to put up that was quick.
Yeah, and also too, like I don't think Hangouts has like the funnest tools.
Yeah.
So Skype has like background blurring, and they also added like the virtual backgrounds, kind of like Zoom does.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll
And
have to figure out another video solution.
yes,
So I
speaking
could.
of new solutions, so like I've been trying to figure out like a solution to like a podcasting thing, and I've heard it. I've found this thing called the script. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
It costs money. I think it lets you do for free like 3 hours or something like that. And I haven't really messed around with it, but I plan to. So the way it works is one is collaborative, kind of like Google Docs,
Hmm.
but like it transcribes like your voice recording, and so it lays out like a dialogue tree for.
Hmm.
And so like if you had some ums and stuff, you can like literally delete the and it'll just be gone from it. And so I suppose it's kind of like natural editing.
Hmm.
They also have this thing called overdub where it uses like AI. So you can literally just type in something and it'll match your voice and just say it, which
That's
potentially could be creepy,
that's
but
pretty
if
crazy.
it works, if it works, it's pretty cool though, right?
Yeah.
So like imagine the conversation we're having. We're talking about tomatoes, and you want it to not be about tomatoes, and we changed it to like I don't know, cucumbers. You can
Hmm.
like replace tomato with cucumber, and they would say cucumber in your voice
That's pretty weird.
using their
Uh,
AI routines and stuff.
all right. So she's saying that
Yeah,
it's we're.
apparently, almost every presentation, right?
Mhm.
You can cut your presentation down by 10% just by cutting out ums, according
Uh,
to them.
well, that's half my airtime right there. Now, how am I
Yeah,
going to fill out the rest of the rest of the time?
yeah. So I mean, the only problem is if I cut out my ums, then I have to fill the ums with something else.
Exactly. Huge major issue.
And plus, like, there's like some people who use very effective ums. Like Obama is like a master ummer.
Yeah, you were saying that. Yes. So she says we're both coming in very clear. So I guess the video and the audio. Oh, Andrew is on also now. He just joined the chat. Yeah. So my mom says we're both coming in really clear on Twitch. Andrew just joined the chat. I don't know if he wants to join the hangout.
He's he's more than welcome to. Like the invite
Ah,
is like
okay.
up to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me. All right. Let me try to get this invite to him. Just message him. I think that's correct. There it is. All right. We'll see if he joins.
Oh, did he say let me in, or
No,
are
no.
we just sending it to him?
He said he'll join.
Oh, I see. The way you said it made it sound like you were insisting that he joins.
No, no, no. This is up to him if he wants to join. It's open. It's available.
All right, so you got consent for him to join. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Always. I'm not gonna try to bring somebody into a
A
video
group
chat.
setting, a live groups, a recorded group setting without their okay.
Yeah, without their consent. I mean, it's not like an intervention or something like that.
So wait, are you suggesting that interventions are the only time that you don't need consent?
Well, what is an intervention other than like everybody crowds in like a room
It's
and
it's a non-consensual meeting.
yeah.
Hello,
I mean,
hello.
that's one
Hey,
way to
Andrew.
look at it. Hello.
Welcome. So this is live on Twitch, and it's being recorded. I don't know if I can get rid of the recording on Twitch if we like don't have a good recording. Hopefully we can. But we'll see how it goes.
That's weird. When you talk, your video doesn't show up, but when Kenji talks, his video shows up.
I talk.
It's because he's using
Yeah.
a separate webcam.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So he's kind of like dubbing himself, sort of.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't. I have to work on this webcam chat thing.
So you can do like some very calculated delay, and you turn into like a kung fu movie.
Oh, speaking of which, I saw Ip Man, the last Ip Man recently.
Which number is this?
I think it's number
I don't-
4. It's the last one. They have Bruce Lee in it.
Uh, wasn't Bruce Lee in the first one too? Or am I making that up?
He was in the end of the first one as a little kid, I think. But this
Okay.
one is like Ip Man goes to America, and
Is
Bruce
this
Lee
the
is
one
like
with
a
Mike?
star. No, that was
Oh, is
number
this the
three.
one? Number 3 was with Mike Tyson? Okay.
Yeah, number three was with Mike Tyson. This one is with I don't know. This is the one that did. This one is like, you know how like the was it? There's that conspiracy theory that the martial art leaders in LA tried to get at Bruce Lee, and that's why he actually died. You hear about that one?
Nope.
According to Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, it was a family curse
Yes,
that that
the
that that, that
historical
affected him and Brandon.
the
Yeah, the
historical
historically
documentary
Dragon the
where
Bruce Lee story.
it affected the son and the father, but not the daughter, who ended up going on to that TV show. Do you remember that TV show that she was on?
Nope.
Sharon Lee. No, I actually. Speaking of which, I don't know. Since apparently we're gonna have like a Bruce Lee conversation.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw,
that's what's
I saw,
happening
I
right now.
saw, I saw B Water, the 30 for 30
Oh.
on Bruce Lee. It
How was
was
it?
it was actually pretty good. It was interesting. It also shed some light. I mean, they didn't directly address it, but like they shed some light on Bruce Lee's mysterious death. It sounded like he died a very Asian death. He died from overworking. He got a migraine, took a nap, and didn't wake up.
Yeah,
More or less.
it was like an aspirin, or like something like that. But it was like an aspirin
Yeah.
with like something stronger, and he had a bad reaction to it. And
Well, he was in Hong Kong, right? I think working on what was it, Game of Death or something.
Something like that, yeah. He was working on a movie.
Yeah,
But
it sounded say which is very unceremonial. It doesn't sound like Mr. Asian superhero way to go, right? Not because he was like in perfect health or whatever. He was in his early 30s, and he dies. So of course it had to be a curse. It could have just been like he was burning candles at both ends.
right, right. Well, I mean, then you have Brandon, who just died mysteriously from a freak accident of a blank cartridge.
yeah,
See, also the other thing too from the documentary is how like Bruce Lee is American. He is, but he isn't
What do you
at
mean?
the same time. So it wasn't like his parents moved to America. His dad was like this famous like Chinese opera singer, and they were
Right.
just on tour, and he was born in San Francisco, so he's an American citizen. It wasn't like they immigrated to America.
Oh, okay.
But that gave him the opportunity when he was like 18 to like move to America because he was
Right.
an American citizen. Also, he was apparently a child actor too, which was kind of wild. I'm trying to find Sharon Lee. She was like in something.
Shannon Lee.
Oh, Shannon. That's maybe that's what. Yeah, that's right.
And
Shannon.
yet she was the host of WMAC Masters. Do you remember that show?
I do remember that show. I did not know that.
She was one of the hosts. She was one of the things. So I was gonna say, everyone got the curse in the family except her, who. Man, that show was awesome. My favorite.
Well, apparently.
My,
Yeah.
my favorite one was Tsunami.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. You know what? Also, because I have her Wikipedia page up. She was also in. You remember that? Remember Sammo Hung had a TV show. Sammo Hung, aka the most like athletic fat guy there is.
Yes, the only fat guy I know that can do how
Like
many
a bunch of
backflips?
flips.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a show, I think it was on CBS. I feel like it had to be on CBS. It was called Martial Law. She was in that
I
show
think
too.
I saw that. I saw that movie,
Oh
or I saw that
yeah,
show.
martial law.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they'd always have his fat ass flip just in every episode for no reason.
Wait, so you said that it had to be CBS, right?
It had to be, right?
You are correct.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm willing to bet that it was a CBS show. That is total CBS show. WMAC Masters. She also was in a band called The Medicines. WMAC Masters, and that was part of like the Four Kids production too.
Yeah, I love that show. And then what sucked is so Tsunami was like the young guy who just got joined into WMEC Masters and he never won. But then in the second season, suddenly you find out that he turns evil and he becomes a bad guy. And I'm like, "What?"
Turn heel. Abe has no idea what we're talking about, does he?
No, WMAC Masters. No. Not only that, but I'm also like drawing the skyline over here and on the Twitch stream. But I think it's awesome because now like you guys can have a conversation and I can like do stuff on the screen. It's kind of like a multimedia, thing.
Also, did you know? I think this might actually be common knowledge, but Abe, did you or Andrew, did you know that like Bruce Lee was originally supposed to be Kwai Chang Caine in Kung Fu, but they gave it to David Carradine?
I mean, they made the right decision.
They kind of they kind of said that like his accent was just too much to deal with. I don't even think his accent was all that bad. I mean, he did clearly have an accent, but I thought it was easy enough to understand.
Well, I mean, the thing with Bruce Lee is he doesn't fit the wise man role all that well. Like, in a sense, like when I think kung fu movie and I think old wise man dude, I don't think Bruce Lee. I think of maybe Bruce Lee's dad, but Bruce Lee is too young and svelte for that.
But he had like so supposedly too in like Enter the Dragon, all the like philosophical things for him, he added those in like the don't think, feel.
Oh no, he's definitely like like I would say he is
In
like a
all its
martial arts.
heavenly glory. Like that.
Yeah, he is a martial arts wise man. I'm just saying he doesn't fit the stereotypical picture of a martial arts wise man. He doesn't have a
Yeah.
Fu Manchu. He doesn't, look old and decrepit, but yet moves like nimble like a fox.
And he doesn't have that he doesn't look like a goofball like Jackie Chan. I mean,
Exactly.
as far as like the old school Asian actors, I guess he was probably the best looking of the bunch. Definitely better looking than Jackie Chan.
Definitely better looking than Jackie Chan.
Um,
But
because like name someone better looking from that generation. If you can think of someone. Abe's like Sammo Hung.
Chuck Norris.
No, I meant for Asians, like Asian, like actual Asians, not like the No, so I guess I'm being racist, but Chuck Norris and Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal do not count for the purposes of this discussion.
I'm offended that you put those three names together in a group because out of three of them, one of them is a legitimate martial artist.
Two of them. No, I mean, No, Steven Seagal was Aikido.
Yeah, but I mean, the legitimacy of Aikido is very much up in question.
It is a martial art. It is a martial art. I don't think Aikido is the Scientology of martial arts.
I don't know, man.
I don't think it is.
I went down this I went down this really deep rabbit hole one day of watching YouTube videos of former Aikido masters actually getting their butt kicked by MMA
No,
martial
well,
arts.
Oh yeah, I mean
yeah,
MMA beats everybody.
I think they beat like all. Well, also too, to be fair, the dude, like the guys who were fighting that MMA guy were all old.
No,
That's the
no,
one of
no.
the thing.
I found some videos of like, you know,
Like younger guys?
younger guys fighting like a full on like Aikido teacher instructor fighting a junior MMA person, and literally the whole thing about catching a punch, this guy could not catch one punch because when a punch actually comes at you full speed, there's no way you can catch that. Like the whole idea of
Yeah.
using the other person grabbing their wrist and then flipping them doesn't work if they're coming at you at 100%.
All right. Let's just compromise. Let's just say Aikido is the Mormonism of martial arts. Is that fair? I don't want to completely like discredit Aikido. The next thing you're gonna tell me you can't do Tai Chi and win a fight either.
Well,
Keanu Reeves told me otherwise.
martial arts form of Tai Chi is very different than the what you call it.
The old Chinese ladies at the park.
The exact yes,
Tai Chi.
yes. Same thing like Korean Taekwondo right now, right? The Taekwondo that you see right now is a sport version of Taekwondo that was back in the day. The Korean military still teaches the more bloody and hardcore version, but the stuff that you see like with the kicks, the flips, and the jumping in the air and doing like 25 kicks in the air whilst doing a 360 and making coffee, like all that stuff, that's just the sports aspect of it.
That's just for show.
Yeah, that's been modified now to do that. But there's an original form of Taekwondo that they still teach in, and it has a lot more grappling and a lot more other stuff. So I mean, there's stuff like that, but I mean, Aikido, man.
But you're just saying Aikido is not the thing.
No, I'm saying even I watched some old school like when Steven Seagal was like his grandmaster and he's showing off against he's fighting against like 12 people.
Yeah,
or
I remember
like,
that.
Well, I mean, they did just kind of run at him and then he flipped them, but like,
yeah, I mean,
or are you saying?
I have yet to see an Aikido fight where it was an actual fight and not a demonstration.
Okay, now on the other hand, judo is real.
No, judo is
Like
still real. Yeah,
judo is real.
yeah.
Those dudes don't mess around. My great uncle was like a judo master. This dude used to like tie a rope to a tree and punched it. He had like no knuckles because he was punching a tree. Like
my cousin was on the he was backup for the Korean Olympic team, and when in the 90s, I want to say. But yeah, no, judo is legit. I would even surmise to say sumo is legit too.
no, I heard sumo is legit, and I'm also kind of basing it. Have you watched was it Kengan Bashura on Netflix?
Oh,
That show is stupid, but I enjoyed myself. That show is so stupid. It is like it's the only thing stupider is Baki, but like.
did you ever did you read the manga?
I
For
haven't,
Baki?
but for Baki, yeah. No, because I got frustrated after watching that abomination of a show, and so I just kept reading. So yeah, after a certain point, they like unearthed like the world's greatest fighters.
No, yeah, but I'm talking about the last fight in Baki, where friggin' the dad uses him as a nunchuck, and then like while he's beating him against a car, he creates like a little like
Yeah, no, I read that part. It actually goes further. Then after that, he fights what's his Musashi.
oh
They yeah, they found his DNA in a fossil or something, and they cloned him.
yeah. I
And
remember
he's
that.
just like this destructive force just spreading around
Yeah.
Tokyo. Yeah, no, and then I didn't read that. I kind of gave up. I didn't read this part. Then they unearthed some famous like sumo guy. But anyways, according to Kengan Ashura, sumo was actually the first mixed martial art, and at some point then they got into all this like fat guy stuff. But that wasn't the original point. There used to be like punches and kicks and stuff.
Did
And
you
then they're
think-
like, cause then this dude, like the sumo guy, punched the one guy, and they were like, "What the? That's not sumo." And then of course they gave you an unnecessary history lesson because anime.
Yeah. Of course. Of course.
Yeah, yeah,
Any martial arts or sports anime, any little thing that happens has a whole history lesson to it.
yeah.
That-
They'll waste like 10 minutes just breaking it down to a science for
that's
like
why
no reason.
I love sports anime for that reason. Because it's like, oh my gosh, what's that? The one that I watched recently, Haikyuu?
I've heard good things about Haikyuu, so you know everything there is to know about volleyball now, don't
Do I? Do I? I know the different types of sets they can do and how it can affect and all the mind games and whatnot. Yeah. My favorite was actually Slam Dunk. Do you remember that from the
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No, that's a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to, and then there'll just be like this interstitial scene, and then they're just showing you diagrams and like explaining to you, just like, yeah, and every inconsequential thing is like a new thing to teach.
Right.
Right. Well, like, cause I liked Hajime no Ippo, and then of course he just switches feet. It's like, what is that? And then they have to explain to you what southpaw is, and you're just like, okay, like,
No. But it's not just switching your feet. Southpaw comes with all these different advantages, and
yeah, and it's like, did you know you could be? Then you find out, oh, he was actually born right-handed. He's a converted southpaw. You're like, oh, so it's like, so wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that his power hand is in the front? He's using it as a jab? Yes, because it makes your jab stronger.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Kengan Ash. Andrew, you haven't watched it? Do you
No,
want to know
I've
Oh.
watched like
some of it?
most of it, but then I couldn't really. So like for those, I just fast forward to the fights because the storyline mean absolutely nothing to me, and then on top of that, it was too similar to Baki that I just kind of
Yeah.
lost interest.
Because I like the original Baki, like Baki the Grappler, but like the new Baki, you know how like even if a show is not realistic, like going back to kung fu movies, they do have rules in their universe. Baki breaks every single rule. Like, like every time you think somebody died, like they should be dead, right? It's like
Right.
clear they should be dead, and then they just come
Come on.
back and they're not dead, and you're just like, what the?
Yeah, it's like your every single muscle in your body got torn, and like
Or you got your throat slit and blood spraying out. You're like, okay, dude is dead. Then he comes back and he's like, well, I got a blood transfusion just in the nick of time. And you're just like, what? Like, what are you talking about?
there's a
How are you
series.
talking?
So there is a series of anime and manga that I really like. However, I have no idea how to do. So it's based off of mahjong. So there's Akagi. There's
yeah.
the mahjong club.
I saw all of Akagi.
Okay. So here's the
Yeah,
thing. I watched all of Akagi. I have no idea how to play Richi mahjong. I like
no, you okay, Andrew. You know why you don't know how to play Rishi Mahjong? because they did not actually do the whole history lesson.
No, but like I watched other because there's more than one mahjong anime. I forget the name of the other ones I saw, but I watched a bunch of other ones that did kind of explain it. And the thing is, I got the whole okay, you need like four sets of triples and a double. That's like the basic hand of winning. I think it's four or three sets of triples and a double. So it's like, all right, I got that. And then I get the whole like, all right, you gotta, but like I don't get pawn, I don't get 10, I don't get why you would open your hand versus closing your hands, and I have no idea about the what's that? Like you need a special character to win. Like you either have to have something like if it's the East win round, you have to either have the East character, or if you're in the West seat, you have to have a West character in your hand for you to win, or something like that.
I mean, there's a lot going on in mahjong,
Yeah.
and I don't really understand how they lay down like their whole set, and they're just like, I won. And it's like, how did that happen? Let alone when you start betting your own blood
Yeah,
or
but
whatever it was.
I do like those mahjong animes. I just really wish I knew how to play mahjong. And every time I try to sit down and play, and I get an app or something that tries to teach me, I like get lost. Like, all right, I got past the first round of how making a hand. Now, when they get into scoring, I'm like, all right, I'm lost. No way for me to follow scoring. You need a PhD to know every single combination.
Yeah. Do you think like mahjong they kept like adding to the rules because there seems like there's just a lot going on. I can't imagine when they first created what would become mahjong that it had this many rules.
Yeah.
It was probably like a very like simple game.
Well, I mean, in its basic, it's just make three or four triples. I forget exactly how many, and make one double. That's it. That's all you need to do. You know, there's four hands. There's bamboo. There's circles. There's characters, and then what? There's dragons, and there's the wind tiles. So it's like it's very basic. It's just that they named every single combination you could possibly get. It's I don't know.
No,
It gets,
no, it's very intimidating. That's why I haven't even like borderline attempted it. That's like it feels like very much like a retirement game. I'll be mahjong. I'll be mahjonging in like a I don't know. But now I'm not ready for mahjong. I'm not ready. Oh yeah, so Abe, do you know do you know the backstory of Kengo and Ashura is really stupid. Would you like to know? It is astoundingly stupid.
I think I was in the apartment when somebody was Andrew was watching it and probably
no,
you can.
no. This is a new one that just came out on Netflix.
Oh
It's
no.
on Netflix. It's very similar to Baki. So all the like major corporations, I mean, they have like fake names for all of them, but you know, basically, but imagine if Sony, Mitsubishi, and all those companies, like if they were trying to make a deal or trying to like if they had like a dispute over anything, they have like an underground tournament to settle the disputes.
Mm-hmm.
So if Sony's fighter wins, Sony wins the dispute, and they get to build like a new headquarters and whatever.
Okay, I'm following.
But like there's like this one dude who's like the chairman of like that underground fighting league. And so you can at any time evoke like a tournament to become the new chairman.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what's happening. And it's like a fight to the death and all this kind of stuff.
And apparently there's this one guy who's a really good fighter and he doesn't have a particular style, right? Like he's kind of like
yeah.
But this is in the like realm of mahjong. He's fighter.
No.
No. It's just fighting. It's
Yeah,
not
mahjong was a separate topic.
yeah.
Oh,
This is
okay.
just fighting.
So no, this one I did not see. Or unless this is the boxing one.
No,
No.
it's I guess it's more like MMA.
Oh, okay. No. Then I've not like seen it or heard it.
It's yeah, no, so there's so like all these business and of course the businessmen bet on their fighters and
Hmm.
all this kind of stuff. Some people have hired like assassins and mercenaries. There's like this one character who's like a cop, but he believes too much in justice. He's like very Judge Dreddy.
Hmm.
So if you're a criminal, you have to die. And he's like a master blocker. Like he blocks like he has like a shield in his arm or something.
I say.
So like if you punch his arm, you'll break your hand. It's like that.
Oh, like he had one like surgically implanted, or he's just super like he has a
No, he
super
doesn't
tough
have
arm.
it surgically implanted.
He
There
just
is
has,
one character who has stuff surgically implanted.
or
Because
he's
like one of the rules is no weapons, but he had weapons surgically implanted, so it's part of his body, so it's not against the rules.
and so he just has a super tough arm. You're saying?
He just has blades just coming out of his knees and stuff.
Ah, I
It's
wanted
a
this. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
what you want, Wolverine claws? Do you want
No,
just claws?
no. I had this idea for a superhero with an adamantium skeleton, but with like his shoulder blades. You know, was like his secret weapon. You know, it was like shoulder
So one
blades.
of Wolverine's so you know in the comic books, right?
Yeah.
Wolverine is not a human.
Yeah.
He's evolved from wolves.
Yeah.
So and there's like Sabretooth is the same thing, but he's evolved from a cat.
Hmm.
So which is why they're arch enemies.
Yeah.
Well, there's other people that they find that are part of Wolverine's race, I
Hmm.
guess,
Yeah.
and one of them can grow their bones out of any joint, I think, like knees and stuff.
All
So
right,
shoulder
so
blades.
Abe, your superhero. So is it his shoulder blades are blades, but can he also turn into like a hang glider? So can he fly too?
No, they're just blades. Shoulder blades.
That's a lot less useful. He should be able to glide too.
Yeah.
And just if it's his shoulder blades or blades, how he's gonna actually attack with that? Because
That see
the
that
shoulder blades,
exactly. That's where it gets fun. That's where it gets funny because you know, like it's like right in your back. It's like how do you?
So there's gonna be instances where he gets stuck.
Hmm.
Like he's gonna fall on his back and he's gonna be like a turtle.
I guess so. I haven't really thought that. I haven't thought. I just thought of the name, you know, shoulder blades. I haven't really thought this character through that much, or at all.
So it just protrudes just straight back, and there's nothing else.
I don't know. I'm just going off
he
of
has
what
like no control over it.
I'm just going off of the blade, the shoulder blade. You know, like why are they called shoulder blades?
all right.
That sounds like a terrible power.
So here's a question I have for you guys, and we're gonna do a deep dive into this. If you could have one superpower, what would it be? And the big thing is, we're going to do a deep dive into your answer. So if you say teleportation, sounds great, except for the fact that how would you prevent yourself from teleporting into like the wall or something like that? Or if you're teleporting, you're not going to be, what you call it, you're not going to be subject to Earth's gravity anymore. So if you teleport, you might teleport into the Earth's crust because the Earth is rotating and moving around the sun. So your teleportation might not actually work. It might kill you. So like you have to think practically, what superpower would you want?
So this is not which superpower do you think is cool.
No, this is what superpower, if you give it the choice right now, what superpower would you want? I have two.
I just thought about this, um, because of the movie Aladdin.
You want a magic carpet.
Yeah, for three wishes, right? And you're like, okay, so think about the three wishes, right? For example, I would want enough intelligence. So just for the three wishes, for example, for starters, like because this is a similar like scenario. So for the first wish, it would be I would want to be so smart that I want to be incredibly smart, smarter than anyone that has ever lived or will ever live. But I want to have no negative health consequences. But the smartness level would be smart enough to know what the next best wish or the next two best wishes should be.
Well, so here's the thing, though.
Mhm.
When you say smartness, what are you saying? Just pure IQ?
No, I'm all right. So all of the
Because
rank, all of
remember,
the
smart is not the same thing as wise.
okay. So all of the smartness and wisdom, as much intelligence, the int level. If we were going by like characters, like
Exactly, but if you're going by characters, int and wisdom are two separate things.
both, but basically the goal of that is to
We're going by D&D rules now.
Yeah,
basically
exactly. We're
the
gonna
goal the
if we're gonna
goal
do RPG stuff, we're gonna go by D&D rules.
the goal of that.
Intelligence is knowing that tomatoes are fruit, and wisdom is knowing that you don't put tomatoes in a fruit salad.
All right, so the enough intelligence to know what the next best wish should be, or the next two best wishes should be. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So in terms of your superpower, what would you want? But you
Oh,
only have one.
well,
Yeah, because like the genie does not actually have anything to do with your powers.
so my what I'm probably thinking, the reason why I want this much intelligence is to be able to understand time travel, so that I could go back in time or understand the multiverse of time travel to get more wishes. And you know how like you can't wish for more wishes, but he didn't say anything about going to an alternate time, getting the genie, getting the lamp again, and getting more wishes that way.
Right. But
Yeah.
so that's fine
This
with
is
your
all. This is all predicated on the genie.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, it is.
this
In,
is.
in a purely you have the ability to get one superpower, what
Oh,
would
okay.
be the superpower? Time travel?
Um,
Because
yeah,
we
I
can
would.
go into a deep dive into that of how that is not a good decision.
Well, yeah, no, exactly, because I don't understand.
Andrew, I think you know too, but Abe knows abundantly clear how stupid I think time travel is.
Well, that's because I personally don't understand it well enough to know if that's the good,
Yeah,
that's
but
the
you
best
can't have
power.
two superpowers. You can't have
Yeah, I mean, you could.
Oh,
Yeah,
you can't
could
have the
give yourself
ability to
ability
travel.
to travel time.
You can't have the ability to travel time and understand how time travel works at the same time, because those are two
I
superpowers. You're
mean, you'll
saying?
figure it out eventually, I suppose.
Oh,
or you're
maybe,
or you're gonna be
You could travel. You could
or
travel
you,
time.
or
or
you're gonna
or,
be in this forever loop of butterfly effects and
or destroy, yeah, or destroy the entire multiverse because you don't understand how it works. Like I saw the Umbrella Academy, that didn't work out that well because he didn't understand how time travel works. Or did he?
Uh,
We didn't. They never finished. I know they had the
Well,
comic books, but
you'll find out on Friday.
yeah, exactly. I know that they had the comic books, but I never watched. I never read the comic books, and I didn't finish. And they didn't finish the
Kind of
series
veered
yet.
off, I think.
Okay. Well, then I didn't. They didn't finish the series, so I don't know how they're going to solve it. But I mean, Heroes ran into the same issue. Where they started out like really good, and then they then they couldn't figure out all these timeline issues, so they had they were basically doing exactly what Hero was doing in his apartment with the strings and the timelines and stuff like that because he was trying to figure it out.
We're going off topic here. So what's your superpower?
I don't know. I don't have one yet.
You are like actively dodging your superpower.
No, but I thought about a
Kenji,
similar.
what would yours be? Because I have
Alright,
two, and I don't want to say it.
Yeah,
right
okay.
now.
All right. If we're gonna, I'm gonna make mine a little bit more fun, so you can feel free to pick it apart. So like my superpower, if we're going by D&D rules, is I want very high luck, and I understand that just because I won't die, I might cause a lot of people to die because I'm lucky. Because knowing my luck and my high luck, that like the universe will need to make sure that I know that I'm lucky, which means stuff will blow up around me. I won't die, but other people will, including people important to me. But it might be fun.
No, I think high luck that's a pretty good one. I actually didn't think about that, but no, that's a pretty good one. Just purely high luck. You're doing the whole long shot thing.
Yeah, long shot. Yep.
Yeah. So for me, I I thought about this a lot, right? I didn't want a superpower that would cause me to get a lot of attention. I.e., I don't want a superpower that then suddenly I will feel the burden to become a superhero. If I gave myself something like super agility, which is the superpower I would get that's the least harmful in terms of um what you call it, like
Destruction.
well in terms of like flying, you can't fly without the FAA coming to get you, or
Yeah.
like,
Hmm.
someone seeing you and then gonna try to dissect you somehow.
Yeah.
Super strength, try like that's the whole issue of if you lose control one time, you're screwed, you
Hmm.
know? Um, so you have all these others, but super agility, that's pretty safe. There's really no bad effect to super agility. However, super agility is still a superpower that's good enough that you would feel burdened to use it for good, whether that be, I want to, I don't know. I just feel like that's something that you'd be burdened to want to have to use that now for good to help mankind. I'm looking for a superpower that's just gonna tweak my everyday life to make it easier. So, oh,
And if you got it young enough, then you could like also win the Olympics.
well, that too, but like, so I was thinking one, never needing to sleep. So like, you can sleep if you want to, but you just don't need to. Your body can function completely fine without sleep.
That what are you gonna do with that extra time?
Either, oh, there's nothing really to do, I'll sleep, or, you know, I don't know. Since I don't have to sleep, I can like do whatever I want during the time that I have to myself. And now being a dad, that having time for yourself is real nice. So
Yeah. More time.
more time. So
Yeah.
there's that. And then the second one would be the ability to understand or like completely what you would call it, assimilate the knowledge that's specifically in a written form by touch.
Like you touch a book and you understand what's inside of it.
But not only understand, like not only know, but fully understand it. So I touch a physics book, I know now everything that's in that physics book.
Hmm.
But it has to be a written book, or a written form, because I don't want the whole thing of like, oh, you touch someone and then you know everything about them, and then oh, it backfires on you and all that stuff.
It also has to not like give you a headache and stuff like that. So it has to have no negative physical, consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are you still limited by like the human brain? So will you have to like do it to like refresh? Because like will it like push out certain information if you like touch a book and then you're like an expert on that?
Uh, I don't know. That one I didn't really think as much into. I was heavily leaning on the no sleep superpower.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I mean, it would still be useful either way. The only problem is if you're trying to like synthesize things, you
Yeah,
might not be able to. You might not be able to do that.
yeah,
Like you'd have to be just like a rocket scientist one day, and then be like a surgeon the next day.
right.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good scenario because like now you like have this moral obligation. It's like okay, now that you can understand how to do anything just by like touching the book and understanding it completely, you're going to be tempted to help people with that, and
Which is again
Yeah,
why,
because
which is again why I lean towards the superpower of not needing sleep.
mm,
Because what you spend how much of your life? 40%?
yeah, 8 hours a day,
Yeah, 40% of your life is wasted on sleep.
Speaking of which,
which I mean, depending on how you look at it, it's wasting. I know. I thought about like also too like having like this internal like translating mechanism as like a power, but then I would probably have to be a superhero because then the aliens would invade and I'd have to be the one to translate, which would suck. What did he say, Kenji? Uh, they want to take over Earth. Did you really need me to translate that? Of course you know they wanted. It's like of course you know they wanted to take over Earth.
Did you see the movie whatchamacallit? That movie with the aliens, Arrival?
no.
Uh, I technically saw it, but I don't remember much of it. Um, it was kind of like a. You remember like that one time in college where we went like what was it 2 days without sleep? It was something like that.
Hmm.
And then we went to go watch the second Lord of the Rings movie.
I do not. I don't think I was part of that one.
You had that seemed like a you idea. That totally seems like a you idea.
I don't remember. Maybe.
It was either the
I
first
really
of
don't remember that one.
it was either the first or the second, and who was there with?
I
I
feel
think
like it was the second because I totally zoned out during like the extended battle scene.
I remember you were Kenji. You were zoning out. Andrew, you were trying to keep him awake. I don't remember where I was. I remember I got a good night's sleep that night, though. Or I didn't get full eight
No,
hours, but I had sleep, so I was able to stay up.
I don't know what precipitated this idea, but it was just like we should just see what would happen. You know how long we can make it without sleeping.
I think we were cramming for exams or something like that.
No, that's not right. That's
No, that
not me.
it was definitely not because of cramming.
Yeah, that's not me.
It had nothing to do with cramming.
It was
Knowing
during
me,
finals
I
week,
would not
though.
have made a decision like that based off of studies. first,
No,
first,
You,
first time through college, Andrew was not the good Andrew.
all right, so
no, it was
you
no, yeah. That
stayed
was
up all
this
night,
is
studied.
very
Maybe
much
you had
this
an
is
exam
very
in the
much
morning.
dumb ideas and like other guys to like be like, all right, yeah, sure.
Stayed
I
up all
really
night.
think it was how long we could last without sleep. I think it was one of the. You know what I think I remember? It's we had a extra long gaming session the night before, and then it was already like 4 o'clock, and we were like, you know what? Let's just stay up. Might as well. The sun is gonna come up real soon, and we have class or something like that. So we ended up just staying up, and then instead of coming back and crashing, I think we ended up staying up, and then we ended up just like deciding, you know what? Let's not just sleep right now. Let's just keep this party going.
And then somebody somewhere along the way, someone's brilliant idea is like, we should go watch a 3 hour movie. And yeah, no, I had to rewatch Two Towers because I did not remember it at all.
On that note,
I just remembered the tree people. Like it just all felt like a fever dream. So I didn't know what was real or not real.
I did that for 300. I stayed up for like 30 hours total. when we watched 300.
Wasn't the record still like somebody stayed out for like a week or something?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I was already starting to like get loopy. I wasn't like hallucinating. I mean, Lord of the Rings did that for me, I guess, but like I really don't remember much of that day other than somehow making it through and then immediately passing out when we got home.
yeah. For me, I remember. So like, not that time, but the second time through college for me, definitely actually did do all nighters for studying and stuff like that.
Hmm.
That was, the Starbucks off of 18, I think it is, the one that's by the Best Buy parking lot
Yeah, yeah.
that's open 24 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I went there.
or it was open. Yeah, it was open 24 hours, I think. But yeah,
Yeah, so I used to go there a lot, and that was like my go-to all-nighter place. Really sucked.
I had speaking of cramming, I had a very like Ferris Bueller moment one time. So I was like cramming and I pulled like an all-nighter and I was running late to my exam. So I was like rushing over and I was still kind of tired and adrenaline was kicking in. But there was like a dude in a Red Bull suit passing out free samples. So I kind of like stuck my finger up. He tossed me a can. I cracked it open while still running, chugged the whole thing and went to my exam.
Nice.
And it was, I'm sure there was very like Ferris Bueller running home music playing in my
Yeah, it's a
head.
very
But like,
80s
yeah,
like commercial
I'm sure
description.
I jumped for like literally no reason.
The camera freeze framed while you were in the
Yeah.
air.
Yeah, no, I was mid running too. So like there was no reason and I was like, my equilibrium was off because I didn't get any sleep. There was like no reason why I should have caught the can, but I did. And I just immediately thought crack it open. It should have like exploded and it didn't. It just very 80s movie. I don't even know how else to like explain it. Everything just worked. I guess that was a pretty high luck day. And I made it to the exam with like a minute to spare because I know it was like one of those exams where like if you were like whatever like 5 or 10 minutes late they would like lock you out.
I hate those.
Yeah, there was always that one professor that was like, "No, you're late."
Yeah.
It's like, come on, this is literally the final. Like, I don't have any other time to take this. Let me in. If I run out of time, yeah, if I run out of time, I run out of time. But at least let me try.
So I told you, right? Like when I went back to school, I before I went back to school and before I decided to go back to school, I applied to a bunch of different places for IT stuff, right? So one of the places I applied to was for um at well no, I didn't apply to that. What was it? I post somehow somebody got my contact information, and so I was coming out of the exam, my first exam after going back to college. And then right after I left the exam, I get a call for them not offering me a position, but offering me a second interview for basically to be the lead mobile app, not mobile app, mobile system manager for BMW America, based out of upstate New York.
Hmm.
And I was just like, oh, like it was such a torn moment because it's like that's a six-figure salary if I get it, which there was no guarantee I was going to get it. But I just came out of my first exam and it was just like, man, do I just want to jump ship and, try doing that or go back to IT, or do I, stay in school and try to do electrical engineering? I don't know. It was a very existential moment for me.
So tell us a story about like 80s style glory. That things should have totally went wrong and they did not.
Oh, and be
And
careful.
he's
We are
it's
we
like,
are being
no, yeah, Abe's gonna go back to. He's like, so I found the genie lamp, but I didn't.
well, I was gonna say, be careful too, because we are being recorded.
Yeah.
So you're saying you want a 80s, like an 80s glory scene, that like an 80s movie scene where
I
I
mean,
felt.
I could tell you, I could tell. Speaking on Abe's behalf, so Abe, think of one. You remember like how like I used to destroy Abe in Tetris Attack or Panel de Pon.
Oh, okay. So
Abe,
montage, training
Abe
montage.
was not. Abe was just not on my level, like at all. And then was it Winter Break or Summer Break? I
Winter
don't remember
break.
which. I think it was Winter Break, right?
Winter break. Yep.
I guess I just imagine. Then he comes back from break and we play, and he's like ready to play. Like I think he was the one that asked to play, and I'm like, all right, prepare to lose. And I was struggling, and you know it was competitive, but he beat me. And so like I just and he was like, yeah, I was just playing every day. So I would just imagine there's just like a Rocky training montage that was just happening. He had like weighted buttons. He put weights in his Super Nintendo controller, just like pushing.
Yeah, that was
Or he
basically
or
what.
he or he played the game upside down, just hanging on like a pull-up bar.
Hmm.
Oh, my I have an 80s thing for Abe too. So it also relates to video game. When I was trying to teach Abe how to, so the arcade machine in the what you call in the center had Soul Calibur 2, and I was trying to get Abe to play Soul Calibur 2 a lot because I wanted him. Remember, there was that whole conquest thing of
Yes.
like trying to, and like I needed him on my team because our colors kept losing. So I tried to train Abe to do that, and so we would play, and we would play a lot against each other. And Abe just got super frustrated because he kept losing to me. But I'm like, no, no, Abe, you're actually getting really better. And he's just like, no, I keep losing to you, and he's getting super frustrated. So we was like, so we went to the arcade one time. I'm like, Abe, play that dude, and like Abe destroys the guy completely.
Like a complete stranger? See, I
Yeah.
don't think I was there that day.
Well, like I was always like trying to choose a different character when we first started, and Andrew was like, "No, play Killick," and then I'm like, "Okay," and he's like, "No, play Killick," and then I'm like, "Okay," and he's like, "No, learn the moves," He's like, "Go to the screen." And you must have had like Soul Calibur 1 on the Dreamcast or something like that. He's like, it's like the moves are similar. Go to the screen, learn the button
No,
combos.
it had to be like Soul Calibur 2 at that time because that wasn't that the arcade game.
The
That was the
arcade game
arcade
was
game.
Soul Calibur 2, but I think at home we only had Soul Calibur or Soul Edge.
No, Soul Calibur 1
I thought we eventually bought Soul Calibur 2. I don't remember for which
for
system,
PlayStation 2.
It might have been
But
for
but it
PlayStation 2,
wasn't
yeah.
after it was like the arcade machine came out for a while before that. But it was Soul Calibur 1 for the Dreamcast. So Andrew was like, "No, play Killick," and he's like, "No, learn the button combos." So it was like, you know, it was like a lot of training, and Andrew wasn't hitting the controller out of my hands, but like basically like
Yeah,
that.
it's like no, parry.
And I'm like, I just want to go
He's
study or
like,
something like that.
he's like, don't block parry.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like days of that, and then we finally go to the arcade because like we're gonna run out of quarters, and then like then we train on the arcade machine. He's like, all right, like know the differences between the two systems, and he's like, okay, now let me play you because then I play the computer. He's like, all right, now let's play each other, and then he like destroys me because I'm like, you're destroying me anyway, like there's no point of all this training. And then Andrew's like, go play that dude right there, and that's.
And you just like destroyed him.
Mhm.
Well, I remember though, it used to get heated. We got to the point in like Soul Calibur 2 where it was like almost like a real fight. We would actually not swing at each other. We would just kind of circle each other. Like it was like a real sword fight.
No, Soul Calibur
Because,
2 was the only time I got real into. I even got into the whole frame canceling stuff.
yeah,
Like,
no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It got ridiculous. Because it seemed like it was almost like basically if the first person to fall was the person who was going to lose the fight.
yeah, I still have.
So it was basically you did not want to get hit.
Yeah.
because it was like over.
But that's the thing. Like when I played in the arcades, everyone there were really good, and everyone had like there was the Volo player and like the Ivy player, and I was the only Mitsurugi player because everyone thought Mitsurugi sucked, and he's predictable compared to other guys, but that's because of that I ended up gaining a lot of respect because I was the one of the few Mitsurugi players there that actually could like stand up to some of the other players.
I thought he was like the right balance of he didn't do as much damage as like Siegfried or like what was Siegfried's demonic
Nightmare,
equivalent?
nightmare.
Nightmare. He wasn't as fast as other guys, but he did like a sizable amount of damage
Yeah,
if you
but
hit
the
something.
the issue with him is all his moves were telegraphed. Really, so like when I actually played like with
Except for the men wasn't, I
the
guess.
men wasn't, his low sweep wasn't, and his low hit wasn't. So really, when I played with people who were really good with other characters, there was so much frame canceling and positioning with Mitsurugi, and then if you get close, you have to push him back with the men hit, or the men cancel into a side hit into the do.
Yeah,
But like there was so much of that yeah, he struggled real bad with Nightmare. Like I always had
yeah.
the hardest with Nightmare.
No, his kick was really slow too. That like I don't even know what you call that. That pushing like front kick thing was pretty slow.
You could only use that if you comboed into it. You couldn't use that by itself.
Yeah,
He only had two initiating hits. Like I said, the men strike, and then he has a very fast uppercut. Those were really the only two like initiate.
Y- yeah. It seemed like you had to be more of a counter puncher or counter slasher, I guess. You
Yeah,
had to you had to parry to buy yourself some time.
yeah.
Where like Killick on the other hand, Abe could just go like balls to the wall and just like Abe, I could tell that you memorized a combo because like if I dodged you, you would just keep going. You would like finish the combo even though you're not fighting. You're not anywhere. Abe's all the way over in the corner and still swinging.
Yeah.
But Abe got decent at it. I would say
No, yeah,
he could probably beat in
no,
his
Abe could
prime.
hang.
He could
Yeah,
beat pretty much any. He was like an above average player.
yeah. No, I mean they didn't have fighting game. They didn't have Evo back then. I but Abe would not embarrass himself at Evo.
Well, no, I don't know about that. Evo is a whole separate separate level.
Yeah,
Evo?
Yeah, it's the main like tournament for fighting games.
yeah. They do it like every year. Oh yeah, so actually, Andrew, you would find this question fascinating. I was talking to Abe about this. Was it last week or the week before? It was like something like that. So, is there like something that you think you're capable of doing, but you have like no evidence that you would have any ability to do it? This conversation kind of started with my sister-in-law. So
Right.
my sister-in-law saying that, you know, based on having no experience doing this, she's pretty convinced that she can amputate a limb. And then my brother chimed in that he thinks that if if he was like on a commercial airline and the pilot passed out, he could land the plane. Like stuff like that. My brother's reasoning for the landing the plane is like the plane for the most part flies itself. He just had to do just like that one little thing, like landing the plane. And he thinks if like air traffic control like told him what to do, he could land the plane.
Hmm.
I put a lot of thought into this, and mine is I think I could go up to like the Olympic size like diving platform, not the diving board, but like the concrete platform. I'm not saying I would Dayglu Greatness it with like no splash, but I think I can dive off of it without hurting myself. It won't be like Olympic quality, but I think I could just do it. and not like break anything and get really hurt with
Hmm.
no previous practice.
I
Because it's like pretty high up.
yeah. I honestly don't think I have anything that I would be confident enough to say that I think I could do.
Also, my brother has a lot of opinion. He also thinks he can shoot a sniper rifle and not like be like like a dead shot, but he think he would hit the target using like no previous experience sniper rifle, just aim, pull the trigger, and like at least hit the target, at least be somewhere on the mark.
Yeah.
Abe, what say you?
The only thing I would think of would be like some type of race car, like Formula One race car or something like that. I could like
You
if it
think
was
you,
like
you think your like southern roots would allow you to just turn left aggressively?
if it was like yeah, either NASCAR or some type of racetrack, or like I take my car on a racetrack, or it's a Formula One thing, and like there's got to be like no other cars on the track, and like I would make it around there. Maybe I wouldn't make a qualifying time, but like I would actually like make it through the track without like crashing. Just you know,
But professionals crash though, or you mean by yourself?
by myself, nobody else around. Make it around the track
Just just
without like
just do a lap.
just do a lap. Yeah, I've never done that before. I'm fairly confident I could do that. You know what I'm saying?
Here we go.
And you can drive stick. Because
Uh,
don't you need to know how to drive stick to drive a race car?
okay, figure
Or
I could. All right, so
aren't
that
all those manual?
yeah, yes, they are. I'll put that in there also. Figure out stick and complete a lap. I'm fairly
So
confident.
you got a few hills to climb. And
Yeah, but I'm
also just a
fairly confident I
thing,
could.
just for reference, so a world championship height diving platform is 89 feet high.
I'm not saying I'm jumping off a diving board.
I'm not saying I'll jackknife or I'll do like a handstand and do a bunch of flips. I just mean just
Just
dive.
yeah, just I like your
Just regular basic dive.
yeah, just jump off of the board and land in the pool. Yeah.
Yeah, and not break my fingers, not like belly flop,
Yeah.
I would say that I think I could hike the Appalachian Trail.
That's that's actually pretty brutal.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it push comes to shove, I think I can hike the Appalachian Trail. I don't know why I would think I could do that, but I would. I. It's walking. It's extreme
Yeah,
walking. I should be able to
yeah,
do that.
fair enough. Um, Also too, like I was telling Abe this, like I don't think I will be like the last man standing in the zombie apocalypse, but I feel like I managed not to embarrass myself. I will not be the first. I will die somewhere in the middle.
Oh man,
I'm st- I, I'm, st- I'm still dead. Don't get me wrong, I'm still dead. But at least I kind of went out swinging, I think.
after everything happening with COVID right now, man, if some type of zombie apocalypse infection happened, we're screwed. We are absolutely screwed.
Yeah, no, we probably are pretty screwed. That would be, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I sometimes, yeah, no, good point. Like, I feel like even Walking Dead is like giving humanity too much credit.
Yeah, hundred
That
percent.
we would that we would band together, even like create factions and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go to sleep.
Yep. Same.
All right, I'll talk to you guys. I don't know, some next time, tomorrow night maybe.
Maybe tomorrow
All right.
night. Yeah. I have the house to myself for the next couple of days. So.
Okay, cool, sweet.
Cool. All
All
right.
right, talk to you guys later.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.